Ancient Egyptian Symbols, 50 New Discoveries, the videos. The sources and meanings of many of ancient Egypt's most important symbols have never been identified. No one has been able to explain their strange shapes or what inspired them. In searching for those answers, 5 ancient Egyptian sources were examined. There are 2 sacred water lilies and 3 primary funerary texts, which are large collections of prayers and spells found in ancient tombs. This set of 3 videos is based on the book Ancient Egyptian Symbols, 50 New Discoveries Abridged. It identifies, for the first time since antiquity, the sources and meanings of more than 50 ancient Egyptian symbols, including Seth, the Eye of Horus, and 10 major crowns. Here is a list of the blue water lily-based symbols identified in this video, including the water lily's sun, solar boat, and solar eye. Ancient Egyptians believed that things that resembled each other were related. They were clues left by the gods to help people understand reality. Similar shapes seem to fascinate them. These 2 large images, for instance, were each painted in the shape of a popular motif, a water lily bloom with flanking buds. Why were blue water lilies such favorite ingredients in ancient Egyptian tomb paintings? Gods were frequently depicted with them, and they were even painted on these hippos, perhaps to calm them with the water lily's sacred energy. James Allen, former president of the International Association of Egyptologists, writes that ancient Egyptian gods were the elements and forces of the universe, such as the sun, the sky, the Nile, life, and death, and they were assigned human forms to make them more relatable. The water lilies in this video are the 2 ancient Egyptian varieties, grown by leading expert Ken Landon. At the Egyptian government's request, Ken identified flower remains found in ancient Egyptian tombs, then provided Egypt with millions of seeds of the 2 ancient water lilies and helped reintroduce them into the delta. The translucent orb at the blue water lily's center resembles the sun, and Egyptians imagined that, like a seed, one orb grew to become the actual sun. The blue water lily is not a lotus. The lotus doesn't have a sun. The blue water lily had a central role in Egypt's most beautiful creation myth. Its bud rose out of the black waters of chaos and began to glow with the world's first light, pushing back the darkness. Then from its center, the sun rose for the first time, and our fragile world began. Water lily centers, like those in the upper corners of this illustration, were the inspirations for these rosettes, roundels, and sunglyph. They empower resurrection, which occurs at sunrise. The water lily design on this royal statue's breast suggests that through its diminutive sun, sun god Ra might directly nourish his son and future pharaoh. A blue water lily's center, which resembles a boat carrying the sun, inspired the solar boat. This boat's ends curl inward, like blue water lily styles do, and they're crowned with water lilies. Here is another example of a water lily center as solar boat. The solar eye, too, is based on a blue water lily's center. When it's horizontal, it's seen as a boat, and when it's turned on edge, it becomes a solar eye. Water lily stem symbols, perhaps indicating waterproof, decorate pieces above this glass bowl. A blue water lily's center resembles a ring of cobras around the sun. It inspired the cobra ring crown, which provided cobras for protection, and sunrise for resurrection. The cobra ring crown has 5 stylizations. Realistic versions were called Uraei Kalathos, or Royal Cobra Basket. However, since these other crowns are stylizations of it, they were all renamed Cobra Ring crowns. A cobra ring is one or more cobras around a sun. It's based on the water lily, and is therefore resurrection empowering. A blue water lily's scent is in its petals, so the petals around this sphinx's face indicate that she smells wonderful, and that her face shines like the sun. Dried blue water lily stamens resemble cobras, and a fresh green stamen supplied the spine that's depicted on the front of uraei, or royal cobras. Goddess Seshed's crown, the only crown so far to have been found, is a cobra ring. It's a golden band with 2 golden feathers behind, a golden uraeus in front, and an implied sun. This crown is decorated with golden water lily centers. These are a few examples of the many cobra ring crown combinations. The shapes at the top of jed pillars are stylized cobra rows. Each one symbolizes sunrise, so a stack of 3 is 3 times as powerful. Jed pillars jump-started resurrection. These are some of the ways ancient Egyptians used cobra rings. A cobra row is the side view of a cobra ring. Sunrise was a metaphor for resurrection. Here are 3 variations: a scarab, goddess Nut of the night sky, and Hathor, women's goddess of dance, music, and love. Most of these flowers are heraldic lilies, which are variations of blue water lilies. Each one has an inverted red tear-shaped sun rising between its 2 blue or green petals. Heraldic suns were used as independent symbols. Here are 7 examples, with 8 more on the tile piece. The blue water lily petal on the right end has the same tear shape. This gold glyph has numerous heraldic suns hanging beneath it. Its bowl resembles a white water lily's ribbed sepal, which is one of the petals covering the bud, and its legs resemble water lily stems, which have that 90-degree bend only after blooming, when the stems lie flat on the bottom of the pond, with their buds standing upright as they develop seeds, approximately 2,000 each. These serpents have negative space heraldic suns in their coils to help neutralize their threat. They are awkwardly balanced for the same reason. This serpent outlines 3 negative space heraldic suns, and for added protection, a cat is shown decapitating it. The serpent represents malevolent forces. The uraeus is modeled after Egypt's spitting cobra, which can blind with its poisonous spray. This reinforced the idea that it was dangerous to look at any god or royal figure wearing a uraeus. The water lily's sepal symbol consists of 3 triangles, one inside the other. It resembles the glyph give, and was used on depictions of both blue and white water lilies. These are some of the uses of the papyrus sepal symbol, which is long and narrow, with a single spine down the middle. Water lily sepals were sometimes pictured on papyri, and vice versa, thereby combining their symbolism. Both realistic and symbolic papyri are depicted in this ancient Egyptian painting. The papyri on the left are depicted realistically, and those on the right are stylized. The next video examines the ancient Egyptian white water lily to determine its influence on ancient Egyptian symbolism.